We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security.
A few moments later.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
Senator, real quick, what do you make of Donald Trump saying that he doesn't think about the finances or the financial situation of the American people?
Did he say that?
Yeah.
I don't think about Americans' financial situation.
I don't have a comment about that, mostly because I think he actually does care.
Donald Trump saying that he doesn't think about the American people's financial situation. He just said it in the presser about an hour and a half ago.
Well, I didn't see that. So.
You haven't seen it yet? Got it. On what Trump just said at his presser?
I don't know what he just said.
Well, he said he doesn't think much about the finances of the American people.
I would have to find out the context of it. I'm sorry.
Got it.
Donald Trump's top political advisor is now saying that heading into next year, the president's going to focus on affordability as one of his top issues. According to a Politico News article, James Blair, Deputy Chief of Staff, Senior Advisor to the President, says that the president's going to refocus. It's going to be all about affordability. Now, if that sounds familiar to you, it's because that's what people like Zohran Mamdani ran on.
A few moments later.
I don't want to hear about the affordability because right now we're much less. Energy costs are way down. Our groceries are way down. Everything is way down. The press doesn't report it.
Bitch, are you serious? You don't want to hear about affordability? You ran your entire fucking campaign on it.
My vision is for a middle class that is once again the envy of the entire world. It's going to happen. It's going to happen fast. Workers like you and communities like this should be able to afford a nice house, a new car, and a growing family on a single income, all while enjoying the highest standard of living on
a single income. Let's go! You said that you were going to make groceries more affordable and all this other shit, and that's not at all the case.
Greetings, my BPP and family. Welcome to Bold Perspectives Network. I'm Mr. Red. Now, family, I need y'all to pay very close attention to what we just watched, because this is bigger than one press conference. This is bigger than one bad headline. This is about a pattern. Donald Trump campaigned on affordability. He campaigned on fixing the economy. He campaigned on helping working Americans. He stood in front of the cameras and acted like he understood the struggles of everyday people, grocery prices, housing prices, childcare, gas, credit card debt. But now that he's back in power, suddenly affordability is a hoax. Suddenly, Americans struggling financially isn't something he even wants to talk about or hear about anymore. And what makes it worse is this administration isn't just ignoring the pain. In many ways, they're profiting from it. While regular people like you and I are drowning, politicians and billionaires are making money hand over fist. And throughout this video, we're going to walk through the receipts. We're going to walk through the contradictions. We're going to walk through the lies, because at some point we got to stop pretending that these people don't understand. No, family, they understand perfectly. They just don't give a shit. We have much to discuss. Let's strap in. Let's get after it.
The United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes.
Get your hand out of my pocket!
Look, child care is child care. There's something, you have to have it. And we're going to make this into an incredible country that can afford to take care of its people. But we're going to take care of our country first. This is about America first.
You didn't answer my question. Republicans want to charge you $17,000 if you don't get married and have a child by the time you're 30. I kid you not. Russell Vought, Trump's head of the OMB, and his Heritage Foundation are proposing $17,000 in additional taxes if you don't get married and have a child. They say we can't legally ban women from getting an education, so we'll just make it economically more difficult.
There's something wrong in this country telling people it is okay to work 3 jobs, not see your kids, not see your loved ones, not take a vacation, and God forbid you get sick. Okay? And I still got a job at home because I'm a mother. Because let's not forget, I don't get a day off. And I got to figure all that out. How are we going to eat? How are we going to pay rent? How are we going to pay the utility bills? That every single thing went up after COVID. Not one thing stayed the same except salaries. The only thing that stayed the same in this country is the minimum wage. Even though everything else went up.
Your car breaks down and you can't afford to get it fixed. How do you get to work? And if you can't get to work, you lose your job. If you lose your job, what happens? The doctors, there are physicians out there who call this the physiology of poverty. Your body reacts, your mind, the stress of just trying to survive every single day breaks the mind, breaks the body. And that is why, people are living shorter lives who are working class than the wealthy.
See, this is what frustrates people. Every election cycle, politicians suddenly discover working families. Suddenly they care about childcare. Suddenly they care about moms struggling. Suddenly they care about wages and inflation and the middle class. But the moment the election is over, the mask comes off. Trump stood there acting concerned about childcare costs while Republicans simultaneously push policies that punish people economically for not having children. Think about how insane that contradiction is. You can't afford your rent. You can't afford your groceries. You can't afford daycare, but somehow the government wants to pressure people into having more children while offering less support. Remember, this is the party of pro-life, but that was a lie. And this mother's rant, this is the reality millions of Americans are living through every single day, exhausted, burned out, one emergency away from financial disaster. That's why I started that Bernie Sanders clip here, because being poor isn't just about the money. No, it changes people mentally, emotionally, physically. It creates stress, anxiety, depression, high blood pressure. It affects relationships, family, and children. One bad check, one firing, one divorce, one bad week can tip the scales into homelessness. And politicians are here arguing on television about culture wars while the economy quietly crushes people underneath it. That's why people are angry, because folks were promised relief, and instead, they got a bunch of gaslighting.
And so the consumer is really, really firing on all cylinders, just like the corporate sector you're seeing in the earnings reports. And they're doing that because they have so much more money. And just as Secretary Bessent said, credit card spending is through the roof. They're spending more on gasoline, but they're spending more on everything else, too.
That doesn't make sense.
I feel like the reason all these artists are canceling their tours, Meghan Trainor, Post Malone, etc., it's not because their music sucks. People will watch anything. It's the same reason why movie theaters are dying. It's the same reason why no one's having any kids. It's the same reason why no one will ever have a house. And it's because no one has any fucking money. Did we just forget that?
In cities across America today, in one city after another, a low-wage job really is homelessness waiting to happen. And it's not just that their wages are too low to keep up with the skyrocketing cost of having a place to live. It's also that the jobs themselves have become increasingly volatile and precarious, where they often don't know how many hours they're going to be getting from one week to the next. Their employers give them 29 hours a week because at 30 they would be eligible for basic benefits like health insurance. You know, what homelessness looks like today isn't just the person sleeping outside the parking lot of a convenience store or a Walmart or a Target. It's often the very cashier or worker stocking the shelves in those stores.
National debt in America just went up to $39 trillion.
Right, which is bigger than your GDP.
That's a lot of money.
So explain this to me. 50 years ago, a barber and a waitress could buy a house. with a big yard for a dog and raise 4 kids, meat and potatoes on the dinner table every night. And now an accountant and a lawyer can't do that. Why is that? This is the biggest fraud perpetrated on the working class people in the last 100 years.
My vision is for a middle class that is once again the envy of the entire world. It's going to happen. It's going to happen fast. Workers like you and communities like this should be able to afford a nice house, a new car, and a growing family on a single income.
You broke your promise to me.
This section here exposes how disconnected people are from reality. When you hear somebody say people are spending more on credit cards, like that's somehow proof that the economy is healthy, that tells you they either don't understand regular people or they really don't care to understand. Actually, I believe that he got on TV and said that shit because they don't have any real wins. Everyone knows this economy is bad. And the fact that we're on a financial bubble when it comes to credit card spending, that tells me everything I need to know right there. People aren't maxing out credit cards because life is amazing. They're doing it because they're trying to survive. People are financing groceries to eat. They have to put that shit on credit cards. Financing basic living expenses. Whether it's Gen Z, working adults, parents, or even people on Joe Rogan's platform, everybody keeps arriving at the same conclusion independently. Life is too expensive. People can't afford homes. People can't afford rent. People can't afford children. People can't afford one-income households anymore. And yet, politicians keep standing at podiums telling Americans the economy is strong, putting their heads in the sand when we are asking, who is this strong for? A lot of Americans are becoming numb to it. They're starting to believe that struggling is just normal now.
The war is almost over. Why is the Pentagon going to ask Congress for an additional $200 billion?
So we're in very good shape, but we want to be in the best shape. And it's a small price to pay to make sure that we stay tippy top. We're going to give back a lot of money into the Treasury and pay down debt. Trillions of dollars in wasteful spending. With money that trillions and trillions of dollars that they didn't need. Massive overspending and escalating energy prices.
Yesterday, Secretary Hegseth couldn't answer my question about how much the war in Iran is costing the American people. So I'm going to answer it for him. The answer is $631 billion, $5,000 per American household. That's how much it's costing because of the increase in the price of food, the price of gas, the price of electricity. We need to end this war now and help the American people reduce costs.
It's not possible for us to take care of daycare.
You know that Don Jr. was gifted 200,000 shares for joining the board of directors for a company called Unusual Machines. Right after Don Jr. got that position, they won a huge contract through the Pentagon to build drones for defense. Don Jr. also oversees an investment firm called 1789 Capital, which manages almost $1 billion of Pentagon contracts. The Trump administration then uses our tax dollars to buy weapons from companies that the Trump organization either owns or are invested in, and we use those weapons to carpet bomb a Middle Eastern country and turn them into a fucking parking lot.
It's hard to believe that you can have that kind of fraud. They're taking massive amounts of money, flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars.
So you are fully aware that the president is suing your agency for $10 billion.
Yeah.
We would agree. Would you agree that $10 billion is a good sum of money?
Yes, sir.
Where would that be cut from? Let's say for some reason he actually wins that lawsuit. Where would that $10 billion come from?
Again, it would come from
process-wise. I'm not asking like your opinion whether it's right or wrong.
It would come from Treasury.
It comes from Treasury, which comes from the general fund?
The Treasury general account.
So taxpayers?
Yes.
No, we're being robbed.
Trump talks constantly about government waste, wasteful spending, corruption, abuse of taxpayer dollars, but somehow all of those principles disappear when the money benefits him, his administration, or the people connected to him. That Ro Khanna clip is important because it forces the conversation back to the American people. See, wars cost money, and regular families are the ones who ultimately are paying the price. Not these billionaires, not defense contractors, not politicians. Working Americans. And while people are struggling to survive financially, we're watching politicians and connected corporations make fortunes off of this conflict. That's why so many Americans don't trust the system anymore. Then you add the fact that Trump himself could potentially financially benefit while controlling the government power, and people start asking questions about conflicts of interest. Because how do you claim to be fighting for the working class while the people around you are getting richer during national instability? And that's really what all this comes down to. Results. Not rallies, not slogans, not memes, not social media clips. Results. Americans were promised affordability. Americans were promised relief. Americans were promised that things would get better. But over and over again, we keep seeing the same thing. Promises made, promises broken. And this final clip perfectly captures why so many people are starting to lose trust in the words coming out of this administration.
Starting on day one of my new administration, we will end inflation and we will make America affordable again.
Since Donald Trump has taken office, layoffs are mounting, hiring is slowing, consumer confidence is eroding, and inflation is picking up speed.
A vote for Trump means your groceries will be cheaper.
If you were banking on cheaper groceries, think again.
We have to bring bacon and eggs and everything, we have to bring it down.
The price of bacon up 4.1%. And eggs overall, year over year, are up 53%.
We're not going to touch Social Security or Medicare.
Elon Musk indicated he's now eyeing cuts to social programs like Medicare and Social Security.
Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine totally settled.
The fighting continues in Ukraine and Russians dropping bombs from drones.
And I will end the chaos in the Middle East. We don't have to have people dying. We are a nation whose stock market continued success is totally contingent on MAGA winning the next election.
Stay vigilant, stay engaged, stay revolutionary.